Ahoy and welcome back to the Captain's Log. It has been a couple of weeks since I shipped one of these. As you can see, I was moving. I'm in a brand new environment. I've just moved to the building next door in this brand new room. I'm the first tenant in here. It does feel really great to have a fresh new environment. I always feel so inspired when I change my environment. And also was feeling a little bit under the weather, actually. There was a little thing going around here in Canggu. So I'm feeling great now, back into it. I'm really excited about continuing this journey and sharing with you all my learnings as I go along. I'll go back to the regular format of this podcast, which is 3 things that I learned that will help me make better decisions next week and 5 things that went well. So the first thing that I think this is something that I have reiterated a couple of times on this podcast, but it's just something that it just is something that just keeps coming up. The more that I speak to people, the more that I kind of coach people through this program that I've been building, the more this particular learning keeps surfacing, and just it's something that I just felt important to share again, and some additional knowledge that I've gained on this particular thing. But it's really the power of making stuff. Now, you can go and do as many tutorials as you want. You can read as many books as you like on a particular topic. But until you actually start making stuff, you're not really going to apply that knowledge, and that knowledge is not going to become wisdom. So what maybe many people don't understand about the actual making of stuff, whatever it is that it actually starts to shape you as a person. So all of the little things that all these neuroses that you have, all these like limiting beliefs that you have, all of these kind of worries that you have about your abilities and, your lack of skill or whatever it is, these things will tend to come up when you start making something. And what I find about that is a really valuable learning that you're not going to get when you just start researching a particular topic online. And like what I've been learning, like just even through doing this podcast, is that there's so many things in this podcast that, like, sure, I could give somebody else to do, and I definitely will at some stage. But right now I'm quite happy with the evolution that I'm going through personally as a designer, as a creator, through actually creating this podcast myself, from the booking the guests to choosing the environment, to setting up the gear, to editing all the footage, to doing all the social media stuff. Like, I'm doing everything. And the discipline that I'm forming around this project and how it's actually shaping me as a person is something that I could not learn otherwise. It's priceless what I'm learning through this whole experience, and it's priceless who I'm becoming through this whole experience. So the challenges as well that we've kind of faced when we are working on a project, and the problem solving and the learning that, like, for example, like, I just released an episode this week, and there was a problem with the camera. So I recorded the episode, and the camera was in front of the air conditioner, and the camera was moving like this, like the whole way through. And it was the guest's camera. If it was my camera, I probably wouldn't be too worried about it. Well, actually, I probably might have them. I probably would have fixed it anyway. But basically, I had to learn how to stabilize the footage, and it was this whole lengthy process for me because I couldn't put all the footage through the stabilizer at once, so I had to slice it all up, and I was putting myself on like 2-hour alarms, like waking up and just putting some more footage through my computer so I could get all the footage stabilized. And I ended up releasing the podcast late, which to me was a real, like, I felt like I'd failed because I'd set this goal for myself that I was going to release a podcast every Wednesday, and it was going to come out at 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I shipped it on Wednesday evening Australia time. And so I felt really kind of a bit of shame about it, like I'd failed, like I'd done something terribly wrong, I'd let people down, I'd let myself down. And there was a process that I kind of had to go through just in resolving that within myself. And, just these little things that kind of happen, they kind of show you aspects of yourself that you just really wouldn't get otherwise if you weren't actually doing the project. And like, there's nobody telling me the deadlines. There's nobody, kind of telling me when and how to do things. I'm putting these deadlines and I'm putting these boundaries and constraints on myself. And that sometimes is more harsh in a way, because I probably am my biggest critic in that regard. But I just noticed some things about myself in that, and how I resolved that within myself. So if you're not making something, I would urge you to, if you're researching a particular topic right now, how to build something, how to create something, I would really urge you to take the steps to actually just start making that thing. The smaller steps, you just do little blocks every day. And if you don't know how to do the next step, get a bit of learning and then apply it. Just keep moving along, because you'll notice that skill set will grow, and that your confidence and your ability will grow. And I just find that really fascinating, and I would highly recommend to do that. And that's actually something that we're going to be doing on the leadership community, is that I have been designing these modules. And I think at the end of the journey, and I'll show you a little map of what I've been drawing about the leadership community and how that's all going to form. But basically, towards the end of this journey, you're going to have to choose a project, and then I'm going to help you with whatever tools, resources, and support you need to actually work on that project. Because the idea is about becoming that future identity and that future version of yourself through the art of making something. So that's my first learning. The second one is really about needing a plan. Okay, you need a plan. And something that I've learned about goals is that a lot of people think that goals are an end destination. There's something that you achieve or something that you get to. But what I'm learning about goals is that goals are actually a way for you. They're actually a lens for you to see the world. They actually create perspective. And what I mean by that is that when you have a particular goal in mind, things start showing up in your perception, in your awareness, that other people that don't have that goal wouldn't really see or realize. And it's quite profound how that happens, actually. You start noticing things. You start, you'll open a book and you'll see a page of something and it's like specific to the goal. Or you'll meet someone specific to the goal, or you'll overhear some kind of conversation specific to the goal, or, things just kind of start appearing. Whether they would appear otherwise or not, I haven't made my mind up on that yet, or whether it's because your lens is filtering and those are the things that you're kind of picking up and perceiving. And so the goal is not actually a destination. It's not actually where you're headed to. It's actually you're creating this future state, this ideal future thing or ambition, but what that actually does in the present is it actually creates a perspective or a perception. It creates a perspective of how you actually view the world and how you actually filter in all of the data that's coming to you, and filtering to you. You choose what to take in. It's like that has been happening time and time again with whatever the goal is. Like even just now, I'm working on this school community, and I'm sitting at the gym and I overhear these guys talking about something, and I thought, I'm like, they're definitely talking about school. And sure enough, they were, and they're working on a school community as well. So we started this awesome conversation. But like, if I wasn't having this goal around building this school community, then I probably wouldn't have picked up that conversation, and I probably wouldn't have even spoken to those guys. And so I look forward to catching up with them. But that's just one example. Particular books that I'm reading, like I'm pulling so much information, particular, like specific to this goal. Would that information that I'm filtering through those books be relevant to me? Would I even be choosing those books that I'm reading if they weren't specific to, like if I didn't have that goal in mind? So it really does shape you, just having a goal. And it really does help you to navigate a world of uncertainty because it creates an anchor point or a point of certainty when you do have that goal. So I really can't urge enough to actually create that future version. And this is something that we're doing in our community. We're going to create goals. We're going to create a 10-year goal, a dream and a goal. And there's going to be a purpose piece packed in with that. And then that's when we start forming the projects. The other thing that I learnt this last couple of weeks, and this is something off the topic of school and business. Well, like it could be related to business, but it's really around intuition, and it's really around trusting your intuition on people that you meet. And what I got to say about that is that usually people will show you who they are, and all you have to do is pay attention. And this has happened so many times in my life where I've seen an aspect of somebody, or I've seen something, and then I've ignored it because I was compassionate, which I think is a good thing to do, but I think sometimes you can excuse certain behaviors or certain things in people because, you want to see the best in them, or, you just kind of like pardon certain things. But then it always circles around to that being a particular point of contention or something like that. Like that's the thing that kind of you question later on, it becomes more apparent. So I would just say, as a third thing, this is just something, obviously not related to the school community, but like if someone shows you who they are, pay attention and pay attention to your intuition and what your intuition is telling you, because, generally that's pretty spot on. Like there has not been one particular thing in that regard that I've been wrong about with my intuition. And, then my logical mind kicks in, and then I don't want to be judgmental. And so I don't listen to the intuition, and then it ends up being true. So yeah, just a little side note there. That's my third thing. And then the 5 things that went well, I've pivoted the leadership community. It was going to be focused more on executive and leadership, corporate leadership and senior leadership. But I've kind of like been building out this map, and it's actually pretty cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera there. But what I've created is this like really cool little map. And this is going to be like the journey that we go on, through the leadership. And what I've noticed about this is actually something that everyone could use, It's actually, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating systems to organize our life and all the complexity in the world. We're going to be identifying, what our worst case scenario is, what is our actual nightmare. And I did go through this the last episode where I did the Paul Chek year in review. So there's a little aspect of that in there. And then there's this whole thing around creating a dream and defining a goal, and then creating this future identity of yourself, and then creating all these constraints and habits and rituals and things that future person would actually do, because that is what we're actually trying to become now. We're trying to bring there here. And then in order for us to become that person, and like I mentioned on my first learning, is that we need to start working on a project, because the project is something that helps us to become. because it's not the, I mention this all the time, but the real consecration of work, the real consecration, the real consummation of work is not what we've done, but who we become while we complete the task. So that's the whole premise of the school community. So I've kind of like pivoted more towards that, and I've actually got a few people doing the process at the moment. So I'm testing a few things there. So if you have signed up, or if you do sign up, there might be a little bit of a waiting time before I open it up to everyone, because I'm just tweaking a few little things and getting things nice and tight before we let everyone in there. I'm not going to get it perfect, but I'll get it to a nice experience for when I do allow other people to onboard onto the leadership. The second thing is that I've been recording so many podcasts. Like, I've just been trying to do 1 or 2 a week, and then edit. I'm trying to get it a little bit ahead at the moment. I had a good runway, and then for some reason the runway disappeared on me. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So I've recorded a podcast with Jason Gotzel, who's a calisthenic athlete, and he's into fasting. Very interesting guy, lovely man. And then I also recorded another episode with Tristan Social, who is a dating coach. He's a cold approach, daytime cold approach dating coach. And he built up a following of 1 million Instagram followers in like 1 year, which is wild. And I moved rooms. That's my other thing that went well. I'm really enjoying my new room. And I'm also getting into a rhythm and a love of reading. I've just been smashing out books. I've got so many books on my to-read list. And I've just gotten into a real love of reading again. I just absolutely love it. And I'm just like, just gorging through books at the moment, which I'm really enjoying. So that's it for this week. Next week, I'll be back to deliver another episode. And next week, I'll be doing this from Thailand, actually. I'm actually going to Thailand on Thursday to record a few podcasts in Thailand, in Phuket. And I'll be there for the week, and then I'll be back in Bali the following week. So the next Captain's Log will be from a different environment yet again. I'll be recording from Phuket in Thailand. And if you haven't already, do like and subscribe to the channel. Do check out the Design on Purpose podcast. There's some good ones coming out at the moment, and we'll continue to do so. And what else? Oh yeah, follow me on Instagram and X. It's at Rixley on Instagram and at Captain Rixley on X. And what else? I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks. So I'm just remembering the things that I would normally tell you. But I think, it just comes down to every week I would just like to mention to you, just remind you, are you doing the things that are taking care of yourself? Are you prioritizing the things that keep you stable and grounded and healthy? Are you keeping your mind space free? Are you freeing up your time as much as possible? Are you doing work that you love? And if not, why not? And how can you free yourself so that you can? And if you haven't already, sign up to the leadership. And if you have any questions, or if you want to know any more about my process or what I'm working on here, then you can make a comment in the description below. And other than that, I will see you guys next week. Hold fast.